Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was gonna say I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
I was watching this channel the other day. It was actually today. And it was talking about how most people don't necessarily care about what you have as an individual. They more so envision themselves having what you have, right? So, for example, when I purchase a property or if I purchase a nice car, the things that out here is, oh, that's nice. Mine is X, Y, and Z. Oh, that's great. Mine is X, Y, and Z. And in fact, I also found myself, I'm not going to act like other people are the only ones who do this, but I also found myself in that same situation. So I was in a nice condo the other day, very spacious living room. I mean, you know, a lot of the times I currently have a one-car garage. So a lot of the times when I'm thinking about moving up in property, I'm thinking about, okay, a potential 2.5 car garage, maybe a 3-car garage. The reason for that is because you don't want a 2-car garage and then all of a sudden you need a 3-car garage, X, Y, and Z. And so the first property I actually bought didn't have a garage. It had a paver, like a parking slab. And then this one has a 1-car garage. So now if I move up in house to a 2-car garage, eventually I might need a 3-car garage. And so those type of things you kind of want to mitigate and just say, you know what, let me get the 3-car garage right now. And that should eliminate most of my issues, or most of my wants, I should say. Are these things necessary in my life? Absolutely not. But, you know, as we want for more things, as we lust for more things, success just, again, breeds more success. I want to be able to say, at some point in my life as well, that, oh, I have enough to where I'm earning in a year what I can pay to literally just wipe this property off, clean this property off. In fact, there was a time where interest rates were so low, I was considering if I had bought 10 properties at these low interest rates, that I can just start paying one off and then start to use that money to pay off another, use that money to pay off another. And once you start to pay it all off one by one, I mean, that trickle-down effect would just be ridiculous. It would just be monstrous. But again, even that strategy requires so much sacrifice. It requires sacrifice in whatever you do. Because although you have those 10 properties, now if you're focused on paying things off, you're not necessarily spending a bunch of money on fun, spending a bunch of money on your own big mansion or anything like that. No, you're spending this money in order to pay off the debt so that you can then live off the passive income with minor maintenance charges and things of that nature, and then raise rents as you please without fear of eviction. So it would take probably about 15 years. And when I say 15 years, it always becomes less when you work as hard as I do. But it would take about 15 years with those 10 properties to then pay them all off. And to be honest, the first property probably wouldn't be paid off for the first 8 years. But after that, after you pay off the first one, you now use that income and pay off the second one in about year 11. So now you have 2 properties plus your main income to pay off the next one by year 12. Now you have those 3 properties to pay the next one off by year 13. Then you probably pay off 2 in year 14. And then you pay off another 2 in year 15. I'm not even sure how many is left at that point. But you just got a whole bunch of cash at this point. So you got year 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 4 properties. And then 14 is 6 properties. And then 15 is 8 properties. At that point, in year 15. I mean, plus the job, plus the increase in income, plus everything else that comes with, again, being a young person and investing. Most of the people watching my channel are about 40 and under, right? You're going to earn more over time. And so those last 2 properties are going to be wiped off by year 15. And again, I've always been ahead of schedule. So these estimates that you think are pretty accurate are actually going to be like, you know what? I paid it off in 13 years, or I paid it off in 11 years. That can happen if you're laser focused, for sure. Thank you that the sun kind of went down a little bit, but that also tells me that my time is winding down with being outside. So with that being said, when I was talking about paying off my properties or buying more real estate, there's really no wrong answer. If you watch, most real estate investors will tell you that you should buy more properties, especially at my age. Don't worry about paying off the properties. Some people might even tell you it doesn't matter if it cash flows. As long as you can hold on to it, all you have to worry about is the appreciation. I disagree with that. I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. If it does not cash flow, it is not worth buying. The reason for that is that you won't be able to buy more properties because of negative cash flow. Even though my properties are cash flowing currently, if I decide to write off too much by doing upgrades and different things, like I just upgraded the electrical in this one for about $4,500 or something like that. So if I write off my cash flow with the electrical upgrades, that can prevent me from buying duplexes and triplexes that might require other people's money, right? Because you can go to a bank and you can say, hey bank, because I make X, Y, and Z with my rental income, this duplex will cash flow, and you don't need necessarily don't need my bank statements in order to qualify for this house. Now, there are things like DSR loans that you can use. So even if your taxes show a loss, you can still buy the property based on the potential of it cash flowing. However, DSR loans are going to require increased is going to require an increased interest rate, where interest rates are already pretty high. So I'm seeing interest rates as low as 6.1%, but for the average consumer, they may be buying an interest rate of 7%, and that's prior to points being added. Another thing that I want to talk about is points. What is points? Points is when you buy down the interest rate on a home by using a percentage of the value of the home. So for example, 1 point should be 1% of the entire house, right? So if a house costs $300,000, 1 point should be about $3,000. And on the interest rate, that can take anywhere from 1 point off. So a 7% interest rate can come down to a 6. But 9 times out of 10, that's really not the case. 1 point might give you about 0.75% off of your interest rate. So from a 7%, you might go to a 6.25, something like that. So it really just depends. You always want to look at your APR rate to understand how much you're actually paying, not only in just closing costs, but in the mortgage as a whole. And if that APR rate is higher with certain lenders, you definitely want to shop around and ensure that you get the best rate possible. I definitely shopped around with my mortgage rates, and I got the best rates that I possibly could. I spoke to different lenders every single time that I bought a property, because I just knew that I needed to maximize, again, my buying power. And the way to do that is by negotiating up front. Like I said in previous videos, you make money when you buy, not necessarily when you sell. And so as a cash flow, as a dividend investor, as someone who is all about making money initially and right now, is definitely going to be you make money when you buy. Now, to answer your question, do I want to buy more properties or do I want to pay off the homes? I want to do both. And yes, you can do both. It does take longer, and if you are tunnel vision towards one thing, that might even be a better strategy than what I'm currently doing. Because right now I'm paying down my mortgages that are less than 3% interest rates, by the way, which a lot of people would say are completely stupid, right? A lot of people would just call me stupid for doing that. but I don't really like that. I never really did. I will take it out. I'm not a full Dave Ramsey guy where I don't take out any debt whatsoever, but I don't like it to the point where I just want to keep it around. So, of course, if I don't have anything else to do with my money at the time, I'm going to invest in paying off the debt. And so that's what I do, especially on my primary home. I put the most money towards principal on my primary home, and then on my rental properties I just add like an extra 100, 150 every single month or so. With that being said, as it gets closer to getting paid off, it just excites me. It just lets me know, oh, I'm not going to be under a mortgage for so much longer, right? Especially at my young age, not even 30. So those things are very, very exciting in the long run to be able to look at and say, you know what, I might not pay off the house in 7 years, but I can pay it off in 7 years should I choose. Now, with that being said, I do have money set aside to purchase more properties should an opportunity arise to where I feel like a property is definitely worth the squeeze. Right now, I'm looking at a duplex that is worth about $393,000. It came down from $399,000, and they've only been dropping it about $2,000 a month. This is not a property that I foresee myself buying, just because I don't believe they'll drop it down enough to where I can buy it. Maybe my negotiation skills are lacking. Maybe they don't want to sell it for $360,000, and that's why they're only dropping it $2,000 per month. A lot of this has to do with where I'm comfortable actually buying the property versus where they're comfortable actually selling it, and with housing rates at an all-time high and with housing prices at an all-time high, it's not really the best market for investors to do what we normally do, which is haggle for deals and really get a lot of money off. Honestly, I'm used to getting about $5,000 to $10,000 off. If you get $20,000 off in the Columbus market, that would be a steal of a deal. And so the things that I'm asking for are not necessarily realistic. To ask for $30,000 off of the property is not something that I've done, and is not something that I think will happen. So what I need to see is that the property drops to about $375, which is not likely to still be on the market at that point because someone will overpay. But if it does drop to $375, then I could consider going up on my offer and buying it at $370. I have not offered on this property because obviously the price differential is way too different. But I definitely see this as an opportunity to make money, and the cheaper it is, the more money I make. So again, you make money when you buy, not when you sell. And so although I lose out on many deals, when I do buy a property, I get a good deal. I'm super happy about it. I'm never ever feeling like I lost in any way, shape, or form. So again, should you buy or should you pay off the mortgage? It's completely up to you. But what I will tell you is that if you do buy, you must cash flow. And if you're paying off the mortgage, definitely have your emergency fund and other things set aside just in case anything should happen. You are always set and good to go. Either way, no method is a bad method. There are going to be people who tell you that interest rates are super high right now and having a less than 3% mortgage rate is ideal and you're losing money by paying it off. Honestly, listen, I am gaining money because I'm not losing that 2-3%. And of course, yes, you can put it in the stock market and make more. But again, peace of mind, financial freedom, all these things, money can buy that. And the way to do that is by being out of debt. And so, the younger I am while out of debt, the more things that I can then invest into. I might buy another 30-year mortgage and then pay that off one by one. And so again, I'm not against debt at all. The only debts I have is on mortgages. I don't have any credit card debt. I don't have any student loan debt. I don't have any car loans. I don't have all of that other stuff that might weigh people down. I don't have any student loans. I said that already. So I'm not financing anything within the house, outside of the house. So again, we're firing on all cylinders and investing the way we want to invest. But at the same time, you have to do what's right for you. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You have to decide what type of life do you want to live. Is it something similar to what I'm doing and how I'm living? Or do you have a different goal in mind, a different strategy that you would like to implement? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.